The film opens inside a high-security prison. A small-statured convict named Calvin, who appears to be a child at first glance, is actually a full-grown man with a genetic condition that makes him look like a toddler. He's rough, dangerous, and clever. Calvin is doing pull-ups in his cell, when officers tell him that he's being released. As he steps outside for the first time in years, he's picked up by his partner in crime, Percy P. They immediately discuss a plan to steal a rare diamond worth millions of dollars. Later, Calvin and Percy drive to the diamond store. To facilitate their covert entry, Calvin conceals himself inside a large bag. Upon walking in, Percy carries the bag and places it on the floor. He then engages the store employees in conversation, creating a distraction. Seizing the opportunity, Calvin stealthily emerges from the bag and maneuvers under the display table where the coveted diamond is showcased. With precision, he cuts around the diamond's setting and carefully secures it. Undetected, Calvin then retreats inside the bag. However, just as they are about to exit, the store manager notices the missing diamond and triggers the alarm, alerting the authorities. Forced to abandon the vehicle, they flee on foot, weaving through the bustling city streets to evade the pursuing police officers. Seeking refuge, they duck into a nearby convenience store, attempting to blend in and avoid detection. Meanwhile, we are introduced to Daryl, a young man brimming with anticipation. Believing that his wife, Vanessa, is about to announce her pregnancy, he enlists a local musician to serenade them. When Vanessa arrives, they sit together, and before she can share her news, Daryl, overcome with excitement, prompts the musician to begin the performance. However, Vanessa reveals that her announcement pertains to a job promotion she has been striving for, not a pregnancy. Daryl's disappointment is palpable, as he has been eager to start a family. Later, the couple visits the same convenience store where Calvin and Percy are hiding. Daryl, still hopeful, suggests that Vanessa purchase a pregnancy test to confirm whether she might be expecting. Unbeknownst to them, Calvin, seizing an opportunity, discreetly slips the stolen diamond into Vanessa's handbag to conceal it from the authorities. As the Edwards leave the store, Calvin and Percy realize the unintended complication. Retrieving the diamond now necessitates tracking the couple to their residence. Calvin and Percy discreetly follow Daryl and Vanessa to their suburban home, taking note of their address for future reference. Inside, the couple is greeted by Vanessa's father, Pops. The relationship between Daryl and Pops is strained, characterized by constant jabs and underlying tension, adding a layer of familial discord to the narrative. Recognizing the couple's desire for a child, Calvin and Percy concoct a scheme to infiltrate the Edwards household. They decide to disguise Calvin as an abandoned baby, exploiting his small stature. Percy places Calvin, swaddled and nestled in a basket, on the Edwards' doorstep before retreating to a hidden vantage point. When Daryl and Vanessa discover the infant, they perceive him as a serendipitous blessing and decide to take him in, believing he has been sent by fate. As the couple begins to care for the newfound baby, they encounter peculiarities that defy typical infant characteristics. During a diaper change, they are taken aback by the baby's physical attributes, leading them to speculate about potential medical conditions. A visit to the pediatrician ensues, where further anomalies, such as a full set of adult teeth, are observed. Despite these oddities, the doctor assures them that the child is healthy. Daryl persuades Vanessa to allow the baby to stay with them through the weekend, to which she agrees. Later, friends of the Edwards visit to meet the new addition to the family. They too are startled by Calvin's mature dental development but extend their congratulations nonetheless. As the friends depart, they reiterate their well wishes for the couple and their baby. Elsewhere, Percy is summoned by Walken, the formidable crime boss who had commissioned the diamond theft. Walken is livid about the missing diamond and issues a stern ultimatum. Percy has 24 hours to recover and deliver the gem, or both he and Calvin will face lethal consequences. Meanwhile, at the Edwards residence, Daryl and Vanessa lovingly put Calvin to bed, playing a soothing lullaby to help him sleep. Despite his initial skepticism about the effectiveness of the lullaby on an adult, Calvin unexpectedly drifts into a deep slumber. Hours later, under the cover of darkness, he awakens and stealthily navigates through the house to retrieve the hidden diamond from Vanessa's handbag. As he prepares to contact Percy for extraction, Pops unexpectedly appears. Thinking quickly, Calvin feigns innocence by pretending to dial randomly on the phone. Daryl enters the scene, misinterprets the situation, and chastises Pops for startling the baby. In a heartfelt moment, Daryl reassures Calvin, promising to protect him and expressing his commitment as a father figure, a sentiment that profoundly affects Calvin, who has never experienced paternal care. The following morning, Vanessa awakens in high spirits, expressing gratitude to Daryl for an intimate night, leaving him bewildered. The situation becomes more perplexing when Calvin suddenly appears beside Vanessa, further confusing Daryl. Later that day, Daryl takes Calvin to a local park for some recreational time. During a game of baseball, Calvin swings the bat with unexpected force, causing the ball to strike Daryl painfully, much to Calvin's amusement. While at the park, Percy approaches Calvin, urgently inquiring about the diamond's whereabouts. Calvin directs him to search his diaper bag. However, Janet notices Percy's suspicious behavior and raises an alarm, prompting other park-goers to intervene. Percy is forced to flee but is eventually apprehended and subjected to a collective reprimand by the crowd. Calvin, observing the fiasco, realizes that Percy has taken the wrong bag. In a bid to rectify the situation, Calvin devises a plan. He feigns distress to obtain Daryl's car keys. Unwittingly, Daryl hands over the keys, only to witness his vehicle start and drive off seemingly on its own. Panicked, Daryl enlists the help of a passerby to pursue the stolen car, unaware that Calvin is the driver. The situation escalates as police join the high-speed chase through the city. Eventually, Calvin loses control, resulting in a crash. Quickly, he moves to the back seat and begins crying to maintain his infant facade. When Daryl arrives, he is relieved to find Calvin unharmed, oblivious to the true series of events. The next day, Daryl and Vanessa throw a birthday party for Calvin, complete with a performer dressed as Rex, a character they assume is his favorite. In reality, Calvin harbors a dislike for Rex but chooses to play along to maintain appearances. During the festivities, Pops, while at a local bar, sees a news report revealing Calvin as a wanted fugitive. Shocked, he realizes that the baby his family has taken in is actually a grown man and a criminal. Back at the party, surrounded by friends and family singing happy birthday, Calvin becomes emotional, touched by the genuine affection, an experience foreign to him due to his tumultuous past. Pops arrives at the celebration, presenting Calvin with a teddy bear as a gift, masking his underlying intentions and newfound knowledge about Calvin's true identity. That evening, Daryl and Vanessa leave the house as they're going out on a date. Believing Calvin to be a harmless little infant, they leave him in the care of Pops, despite his earlier suspicions. He lifts Calvin up, then drops him straight to the floor. Calvin, no longer keeping up the innocent act, grimaces and punches Pops hard in the groin. He tells Pops the truth: he's not here to hurt anyone. He just needs the diamond back, because if he doesn't return it, very bad people will be coming. Calvin then calls Percy, telling him to come and pick him up now. Later that night, Daryl and Vanessa step back into the house, only to find Pops strangling Calvin right in the living room. They call the retirement home immediately. Within the hour, Pops is being rolled out of the house by caregivers, still shouting warnings about Calvin. Vanessa shakes her head. Daryl just looks confused. Something about it doesn't feel right. Daryl notices something odd with the teddy bear Pops gave Calvin at the party. Curious, he looks behind it and sees a recording device. He rewinds the footage and plays it. What he hears leaves him stunned. Calvin's real voice comes through, deep and unmistakably adult. Panicking, Daryl rushes through the house to find him, but Calvin's already gone, vanished with the diamond. In the getaway car, Percy drives while Calvin sits holding the diamond tightly. Then Percy drops a bomb. Walken and his men are on their way to Daryl's house. They're going to tear the place apart looking for the diamond. Without hesitation, he tells Percy to turn around. Back at the house, Walken and his thugs burst in and demand for the diamond. Calvin then arrives and Walken tells one of his guys to put the baby to bed while they deal with Daryl. The goon grabs Calvin and carries him off to a bedroom upstairs. As soon as they're alone, Calvin pulls out his mini baseball bat and whacks the thug in the head, knocking him out cold. He storms back downstairs and takes out the other thug too. Just then, sirens wail outside. Police flood into the house and arrest Walken and his men. With the house finally safe, Daryl faces Calvin, still processing that the baby he raised is a fully grown man. Daryl gives him a choice: hand over the diamond, or he'll tell the cops everything. Calvin sighs, as he really doesn't want to, but pulls the diamond and gives it to the officer. The detective thanks them and informs them that they'll be receiving a hefty reward for recovering such a priceless gem. They can spend it however they want. Daryl and Calvin talk outside and Daryl leans over and tells him they should go out and celebrate. No more diapers and pretending. Calvin smiles for real this time. For once, he feels like he belongs somewhere. He nods and gets up beside Daryl. Make sure to like and subscribe for more notifications. Until next time. See you soon.